Hello students, I am Dr. Saroj Hole. So today I am going to teach you bistable multivibrator. As we have seen in astable multivibrator, it has no stable states. As in a monostable multivibrator, it has a single stable state. In bistable multivibrator, it is a type of circuit which has two stable states, high and low. It stays in the same state until and unless an external trigger input is applied. Generally, a bistable multivibrator stays low until a trigger signal is applied and it stays high until a reset signal is applied. Bistable multivibrators are also called as a flip-flop or latches. The term flip-flop is used because it flips to one state and stays there until a trigger is applied. And once the trigger is applied, it flops back to the original state. Bistable multivibrator circuit with using IC555 timer is shown in figure. Okay. So here R1 R2 are the resistances connected. Though two switches S1 S2 are there. Output is taken at 3 number pin. So how it works? The trigger and reset pins pin 2 and 4 respectively are connected to the supply through two resistors R1 and R2 so that they are always high. In all the previous cases, the reset pin is not used, and in order to avoid any accidental reset, it is simply connected to VCC. Two switches are connected between these pins and ground in order to make them go low momentarily. The switch at the trigger input will act as a set input S for the internal flip-flop. The switch at the reset input will act as a reset for the internal flip-flop. So when the switch S1 is pressed, the voltage from VCC will bypass the trigger terminal and is shorted to ground through resistor R1. Hence the trigger pulse will momentarily go low and the output of the timer at pin 3 will become high. The output stays high because there is no input from the threshold pin. Pin 6 is left open or better if connected to ground, and the output of the internal comparator 1 will not go high. So when the switch S2 is pressed, the voltage from VCC will bypass the reset terminal and is shorted to ground through the resistor R2. So this pin is internally connected to the reset terminal of the flip-flop. When the signal goes low for the moment, the flip-flop receives the reset signal and resets the flip-flop. Hence the output will become low and stays there until the trigger is applied. The waveforms of the bistable mode of operation of the 555 timer are shown in figure. Hence the output will become low and stay there until the trigger is applied. So trigger input when S1 is pressed. These are the waveforms of the bistable mode of operation. Reset input when S2 is pressed, and this is the bistable output, a wave, square wave. Applications of bistable multivibrator are frequency dividers as a storage device in computer memories or counters, but they are most excellent used in circuit like latches and counters. So the bistable multivibrator is also used in digital communication. It is also used for the reversing to the supply to a given circuit at regular intervals. Now these are the solved examples. You can go through this solved examples. Here the frequency of the output and duty cycle is asked. So using this formula of duty cycle and frequency, you can directly put the values and you will get the answer. Then design of monostable multivibrators, you can use T is equal to 1.1 RC formula. Then this example, here they ask the width of the output pulse. So it is also T is equal to 1.1 RC formula. Then astable multivibrator frequency is asked and duty cycle. So this standard formulas they are using for solving the example. Now the application circuit. The moisture detector circuit. This simple humidity sensor circuit shows us the humidity level of the land under the test. To achieve the goal, a couple of probes are used. These probes are placed as shown on the diagram, with their ends buried in the ground to be tested. The circuit uses two LEDs. which alternate their elimination at a rate which depends on the degree of a soil moisture. This is very useful to know when we need to water the plants. The two extreme cases are when the ground is dry, only one LED lights up. When the ground is wet, LEDs lights up alternately and the frequency depends on the humidity level of the soil. So the test probes are there, IC555 is there, two diodes D1D2 are LEDs are there, resistor R2, R3, R1, one battery and capacitor C1, C2. These are the components needed for this moisture detector circuit. Now how it works? Moisture detector circuit uses the 555 integrated circuit. The 555 is configured as a stable multivibrator, and for the circuit to oscillate, a capacitor C1 and two resistors R1, R2 are needed. R1 resistor is located between the pin 555 pin 7 and the positive terminal of the battery. Okay, so we can treat a virtual resistor as R4 is resistor obtained using the probes. This is not a real resistor and it is not shown in the circuit diagram, but in this case it is replaced by the resistance of the ground under test. So depending upon the moisture of the ground, its resistance will vary, and hence the oscillation frequency of the 555 timer. So this frequency is displayed on LED D1, D2. LEDs can be of the same color. We can use different color type of LED, for example red and green, to achieve a more noticeable display. Okay, so in this way moisture sensor circuit is obtained. Now we will see the PWM generator. Pulse width modulation signal is a method of generating an analog signal using a digital source, or it is a method of changing the duration of a pulse with respect to the analog input. The duty cycle of a square wave is modulated to encode a specific analog signal level. The PWM signal is digital because at any given instant of time the full DC supply is either on or off completely. PWM method is commonly used for speed controlling of the fans, motors, lights in varying intensities, pulse width modulation, controller, etc. This signal may also be used for approximate time varying of analog signal. Pulse width modulation DC motor control is one of the popular circuits in robotics. So in applications like motor speed control, LED brightness control, we may want to vary voltage given to it. Most often we use a variable resistor for that. The main problem with this control is the power dissipation across the variable resistor. This problem can be avoided by using pulse width modulation. So this is a PWM with IC555. Okay. So in this method, the average voltage delivered to the load is controlled by varying the duty cycle of the rectangular wave. That is one of the simplest technique to generate PWM using 555 timer IC. The basic idea is to vary the input signal which is supplied to the control pin of the IC. Now working of PWM with IC555. IC555 is configured in a monostable mode of operation. In this mode, the output is low, 0 volt when there is no triggering. When it is triggered via second pin, the output goes high VCC for some time. This time period is determined by the expression T is equal to 1.11 RC, where R is equal to R2, C is equal to C2 in the circuit. Now trigger is applied via differentiator circuit to make a sharp pulses. The resistor of a differentiator is connected to VCC to generate negative trigger pulses, and the diode avoids positive spikes. And now this output is modulated using the input voltage applied at the control pin of IC. So whenever the trigger pin pulses becomes low, the output of the IC switches to high, and as a result the discharge transistor internal to the 555 IC attached to the 7th pin is disabled, so C2 charges through the R2. This capacitor keeps on charging until the voltage is above the input control voltage, at which the IC changes its states. So this is a signal in which a message is there. This is a carrier signal, and this is a PWM output signal. Okay. So this is a diagram of PWM generation using IC 555. Now the output is low, which makes the discharge transistor activated, thereby discharging the capacitor C2. Hence the output pulse width is determined by the control voltage. The process continues and we get a continuous stream of pulses, which can be used for motor control, driving LEDs, transmitting servo signals for remote control applications, etc. Okay. Now likewise PWM, there is a frequency shift keying is also there. So FSK generator, that we will see in next lecture. Okay, thank you. So today I will stop here. Thank you.